Inside.
For clothes that Tristan lost. At Bold 3 Detergent Plus Fabric Softener.
I'm not sure how strong that guy. You were cellmates with Jordan Belfort, the Real Wolf of Wall Street?
I sure was. Yeah, I helped him write his book.
Republican Anthony Rogers has no previous political experience. Rogers, a comedian, is well known for a podcast called The Anthony Rogers Show.
Hey, man, this is Tommy Chong, and right now you're listening to The Anthony Rogers Show.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens, it's Carol Baskin, and you are listening to The Anthony Rogers Show.
Hey, y'all, this is Kevin from Candlebox. You are listening to the funny man, Anthony Rogers.
Hey, my name is Alex Sulkin, writer of Ted and Family Guy, and you're listening to The Anthony Rogers Show. Lucky you.
Hey, everybody, my name is Frankie MacDonald. You're listening to Anthony Rogers Show. It's a great one.
Hey, it's your favorite comedian, Anthony Rogers, live in his tour bus, yeah. But also, you need to get a beard like this. People have been talking. They said your shit looks whack. It looks weird. They can't tell your pronouns. You need to get a beard like this right now. And the only way to do that is by using Luxurious Bastard Beard Oil. Great smell, great function, great everything. Just get this. And there's directions on how to use it if you know how to read. But use the link in the description. Go to the website. Use promo code LEGENDARY. Get a discount. Do it. Thank you. Bam.
Welcome back to your favorite podcast in the entire universe. My name is Anthony Rogers. Our co-host Nikki will be out today. She's taking care of some business and stuff like that. Before we get the show started, I have a show this weekend in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. So if you're out there, come hang. If you're not, fly there, walk there, whatever. See you there. But today we have a huge guest, big in like the horror film genre and just in general. I think it's a huge movie. We have R.A. From Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. How you doing, brother?
Anthony, how are you?
Good, man. Thanks for taking the time to jump on here, man. It's cool, man. Like you're like a legend, man. It's like what's that like,
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that, but thank you for your kind words.
It's cool, man. Were you a big horror film guy before this whole thing took off?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was a lifelong horror fan, even when I was a little kid.
What kind of stuff did you like as a kid?
Well, there wasn't, there wasn't a whole lot out there. It was the Universal monsters and the Hammer monsters, and I loved them all.
What is that? What is that? I don't know if I've heard of that.
Well, Universal is Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, Mummy.
Oh, duh, yeah, okay. I think
Creature. They all belong to Universal.
And okay, yeah, another breakdown of that.
Over in England, they had a horror, whatever you want to call it, shop called Hammer, and it did some really good stuff. A lot of stuff with Christopher Lee and oh geez, come on, I love the guy. He's dead. He was in Gladiator. Oliver Reed, all those old Peter Cushing, Oliver Reed. They did Dracula. They did their version of Dracula and stuff like that. And so
that's awesome, man.
I was really a big fan of all that stuff.
And you were a wrestler before you got into film and stuff?
No, backwards.
That was after. Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, I used to work on the railroad, believe it or not. When I was like 23 years old, and I had a boss, and he would always, and he was a big wrestling fan, and he'd always go, "God damn it, R.A., what are you doing working out here on this goddamn railroad? Why don't you go become a professional wrestler?" Excuse me. And I would say, "Virgil, I want to be an actor, not a wrestler." And I had, several opportunities over the years. Um, Nothing ever clicked. Then I did Chainsaw 3. Then quite a few years later, I was at the gym, the world famous Gold's Gym in North Hollywood, California, brother, hanging and banging, crashing and bashing. And this trainer came up to me and my training partner, and he said, "Hey, you guys interested in going to wrestling school?" And we said, "Well, I don't know." He said, "For free?" "Oh, hell yeah. We'll go." So we ended up going to wrestling school, ended up in the same school as John Cena and a bunch of other guys.
That's awesome, man. No, wrestling's pretty cool, man. So you weren't even trying to be in film and stuff like that? You were trying to do wrestling first, and then the film thing took over or something?
No, backwards. I was never really interested in wrestling until but I had a well-established film career, and quite often I'd play wrestlers or tough guys or strong men. For some reason, I don't know, I just got a wild hair up my ass, and I bleached my hair blonde, and people would. And this, I'm talking early, late 90s, right? And people would stop me and go, I remember I used to get gas at a particular gas station, every week. I'd fill up my tank. And finally, the kid came out one day and says, "Hey, mister, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah, kid, what do you want to know?" He said, "Did you have your face surgically altered to look like Hulk Hogan?" I really had really long bleached blonde hair, and my beard was all bleached. But so I looked like a wrestler. I had no choice. I had to give it a shot.
That's awesome, man. No, wrestling's awesome. I love that stuff as a kid a lot, man. Like I had this Stone Cold Steve Austin era when I was a kid, man. That whole attitude of wrestling was just magic and majestic to me as a kid, man. That was a time for me.
Well, I'm basically the same age as Hogan, Jake the Snake, those guys. That era, and I've met several of the boys, over the years, and I don't know if I regret it. I'd probably, if I had gone into wrestling full time, I'd probably be dead.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem that healthy for these guys, man. A lot of those guys, it's sad, man.
Yeah, a lot of them kick the bucket early,
What do fans ask you most about Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Like, what do they ask you most about it?
I used to get all the time. I used to get the question: Did you really kill anybody in the movie?
That's so
cool. No. If I really killed somebody, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's what a crazy question.
Yeah. Other times people, "How much money did you make?" Yeah, and then I go, "How much money do you make?"
Yeah.
That
yeah, I bet you're like in that whole being in that franchise and being Leatherface, you're in that whole group of just you could basically just probably make a living off just going to like those conventions, bro. Because that puts you up in that category with those legends and stuff, man. Because I think that's the horror film genre takes care of their people, man. Those fans love you guys, man. Like that's one of those genres that's crazy.
Absolutely. 2 weeks ago, see my hat?
Yeah.
Scarefest weekend. 2 weeks ago, I did Scarefest weekend in Lexington, Kentucky. It was epic. For the first time ever, I'm having a hard time keeping this thing in frame. For the first time ever, they had almost all the living Leatherfaces, almost all the living Jasons, and almost all the living Michael Myers in one show.
That's crazy.
It was crazy, man. Plus, they had people. There were so many people there. I couldn't even see people that I wanted to.
Yeah.
Because it was like 40,000 people through the door. So,
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's fandom right there, man. That's keeps that's the American dream, you know. Keeps
yeah.
that whole thing alive. What is Leatherface's origin story? Like, what is I don't remember that. What is his like? What was the origin story of Leatherface?
Wait, you got me on your show and you don't know who Leatherface is?
I know Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I know it's like I know I'm not a film guy, you know, and I feel like you're the source, so like I don't want to fucking know the wrong thing. You know, I feel like you know it better than anybody else. I'd ask.
All right, you're excused. Well, the official story is that he was in the 2003 remake and the 2005 prequel to the remake. They explain that he was born in a slaughterhouse and grew up in a slaughterhouse. I reject that, though. If they would have let me do my version, I had him as a professional wrestler who is supposed to drop the belt to the Russian heel, and instead he promises the kid he'll beat the Russian heel, and the promoter loses a ton of money, has his goons jack him up in the parking lot, take him out and beat the living crap out of him and leave him for dead. That's my story, but I never got a chance to tell it.
That's funny. Yeah, so that's one of those guys who just goes around killing people. Like I feel like he wears like their faces, like he wears like all their stuff is like on their. Did they wear their skin on their face or something? Is that where they got that from?
Yes. I guess the idea is, that his face has been mutilated, and that's why he wears a human skin mask.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's crazy. And that was a big move. That's a big franchise, man. I mean, I think like that movie broke all kinds of records in the 70s, and I think the whole franchise is pretty successful. I mean, that's a horror film people will watch. They'll go down the whole genre. They'll go down the whole series. And there's so many Freddy movies, so many whatever movies. Like, they'll go down that line, man. You've been in like how many movies do you think you've been in now? I mean, like I'm looking at your IMDb, and it's quite fucking
For Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think if you give them a number, it's up to number 8 or 9.
That's badass.
Yeah, it is.
You were in 44 movies?
Is that? Well, yeah, I think I must have been.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm reading the IMDb right now. That's a lot, man. Yeah, it's a lot of horror films, bro. That's like that's awesome.
Believe it or not, I do mainstream shit. I used to do mainstream shit too.
Like what's the mainstream stuff you did?
I was on Full House.
Who'd you play on Full House?
One of Uncle Jesse's biker bros.
Oh, you're in that biker episode?
Yeah.
I remember that episode. Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, during the baby shower where Jesse brings his brothers in to crash it.
You were one of those guys. Okay? That's
I was Skull. Me and no, I was Tiny.
Tiny, yeah, it says Tiny, 1991. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Skull were getting ready to butt heads, and Uncle Jesse comes between us and goes, "Skull, Tiny, stop! You'll get blood on the carpet." And I go, "Oh yeah." So, I'm bummed out.
You were in Highway to Heaven too. I mean, that's a big TV show.
Yeah, I was on. Remember the HBO series First and 10?
What's First and 10?
It's that football series that was on HBO that starred somebody you may have heard of, O.J. Simpson.
He's my favorite murderer, actually.
I haven't. If we had more time, if I meet you in person and we have lunch together, I'll tell you off the record what I know. And I know.
You can't just say that. You got almost. You can't just. That's what everybody wants to know. That's what everybody wants to know right now.
No comment.
He's dead now. You can't even get in trouble.
Yeah, well, who knows what's lurking out there,
Yeah, that's fair. You don't feel safe. I'm not going to annoy you with it.
No, that's cool, man. Yeah, no, you got. I like this Stairway to Heaven too. To be honest with you, I thought that was my grandma watched that when I was a kid, and I think I watched a little bit of that. Michael Landon and stuff like. And Full House is some. Yeah. It's funny having like bikers and some soft ass shit like that though. You know, like it's like Stairway to Heaven and Full House is some soft shit to have a biker, and it's kind of like your credits are funny like that. Like to have a biker in those shows.
You mentioned Michael Landon. I did an episode of Highway to Heaven too.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on there. You're a biker on there too. That's cool.
Yeah. Somehow I made about a half a career being a biker. I don't know why.
That's awesome though, man. However you get there, man. You know, it's just fun. Just fun to be in the game, man. You know, just like see, I mean, you have so many perks to this. Like, you could meet so many cool people. I mean, same thing as podcasting. It's like just an excuse to meet all these cool people. I mean, it's the same thing you go to these conventions. I mean, you said you had every Jason at that event. That's crazy. We had James Jude Cordy on here before. I met him before. That's the only Jason I met, I think. That was Mike Myers. James Jude Cordy is Mike Myers. Sorry, Mike Myers from Halloween Kills.
Okay, what's his name?
James Jude Courtney. He played.
James Jude.
Yeah.
I've met him a couple times. I've sat with him, you know, at a restaurant.
I figured it'd be like, yeah, you guys are on that same scene. That would make sense. Like, that's what I mean. Like, all you guys are having the same category to where it's like huge iconic films and like kind of like and like your face covered, which is kind of weird too, though. Because like that probably stops some of the people from recognizing you guys in public because like those are such huge fucking movies. You know what I mean? And your guys' face were covered too. So it's like. I was in this like weird ape movie where like an ape killed everybody, and like the ape was in every scene, but he had a mask on. You know, it was just weird. It's just a weird. It's a weird like level of fame. You know, it's like this like. I mean, it's interesting as hell, like in the American fame aspect, but it's just like it's weird because I mean, Leatherface and Jason and Mike Myers. I mean, those are some of the biggest names in movies. You know, I mean, it's probably more Freddy or Tarzan, or Freddy movies, or as many as almost as Tarzan. You know.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna add Pinhead in there. You know.
Yeah, dude. Like.
Jason, Leatherface, Michael Myers, Pinhead. You know, they're like the big four.
That's
Freddy,
awesome.
You know,
I used to love that stuff when I was a kid. Like, you always had that. Like, as I got older, it's hard for me to watch TV as much unless it's like something I liked as a kid. It's like weird, but like now I'm like almost 40, so it's like it's hard for me. It's like I don't know how to describe it. The magic wore off. You know what I mean? Like when you're a kid, everything's magic. You're like watching. You're like, whoa. You know, everything's like crazy and magic. And then you get old, you're like, oh, I see how they did that. You know, I see that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm starting to see, like, reflective mirrors on, like, Twilight Zone, how they shot it and stuff. And, like, all these old shows I used to watch and stuff. I'm like, it's like the illusion doesn't work as much as it used to. You know, it's like, right, I used to love that. I mean, horror films are something I probably sat down and watched, like just, like, so many of those with my friends. Like, that was, like, on a social thing that we do, just, like, watch them and stuff. Like, I mean, I love horror films.
Oh, they've been very, very good to me. And speaking, you know, I mean, think about making them. You know all the secrets.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like, what's some stuff you wouldn't know? What's some stuff the average person wouldn't know just watching it? Like, what that you found out or you think is interesting?
Something that people don't generally know?
Yeah, like just say I'm a consumer. Like, what would you tell a consumer level person like on it?
Well, I remember one scene in Chainsaw 3 where the script said I was supposed to I impale a victim on a broken tree branch. And then I grab my chainsaw and I'm supposed to split her from crotch to crown, and her body is supposed to, you know, fall apart. But they decided that was too expensive, so they just had me drill, you know, like just drill into her. And you know, it was kind of a big chainsaw. At first, it was fine, but the director didn't call cut, you know, so I keep going forward with the saw, right? And finally, I got my arms fully extended. That son of a bitch is getting heavy, man. And Greg Nicotero of KNB Effects and now executive producer of Walking Dead was right off camera with a 5-gallon pressurized sprayer of blood, squirting it in my face. So, you know, nobody would ever know that by watching the movie.
No, that's awesome, man. That's definitely the perks of like you said you liked film as a kid. So I mean, it's definitely the perks of like of that is being able to watch it get made. I mean, just being on that set's probably magic, man. I mean, just being able to see how like one of the Texas Chainsaw Massacres was made. I mean, that's an iconic
film franchise. And that's awesome. You got to obviously you got a bigger role than watching it happen. You're the main dude, but I'm saying like, in addition to that, that's like a cool thing to like to kind of see, man. Like just directors and actors kind of do their magic, you know.
It is. It's something else, you know. I mean, I love it. I love it.
That's what I mean. I think that's what everybody's chasing, some kind of piece of that, you know. I think every American wants some kind of piece of culture, man. You know, just wants to be a part of some kind of thing and wants a piece of it. I think that's that's magic, man. I mean, I think that's everybody knows. I mean, I could go outside when there's people walking around and we could ask people if they've seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Everyone's seen it. Everyone's heard of it. So it's such a huge, like, you know, like I work and I love the story too. I think wasn't it a low budget film originally and then just blew up like the first one?
Yeah, the original was
magic.
very low budget, and it returned. You know, it made such huge returns on the original budget, and that's why they continued the series. Mine, by the time we got to mine in 1990,
it was big, wasn't it?
It was actually a decent budget. It was like $1.5 million.
Yeah, that's you. Yeah, you were in a way bigger one. Like they had way more. It was like the Evil Dead series, like how Army of Darkness was like had a budget, but the other ones didn't. It's just like that's how it reminds me too. Is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of seems like that, and Blair Witch was kind of like that too. Like the first one was just like this, like both those films were like legendarily such a low budget for film, you know, but still a budget. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars is still a lot of fucking money to people, you know. I feel like, but not in the film industry.
Yeah. Speaking of Evil Dead, the way that got financed, Sam Raimi's brother, Ivan, was a dentist. And he went to 10 of his dentist buddies and they each put in $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just magic.
And I'm sure they're very glad they did.
Yeah, no, that's how it happens, man. Just like people just like they dream it and then they make it happen. And like, that's everything, man. And horror is such a good and interesting like genre. There's just such a good like genre of film. It's like I love it before, like when you had these iconic like killers, like you played like this iconic killer, but before kind of like I feel like in my generation kind of like relied on like jump tactic scares where there's no development of like you don't really, I don't know, the main character killing thing was cooler, I think. You know what I mean? I think like your thing and Jason singing, Mike Myers singing, I think that was like cooler than just jump scares. You know, that's what I had. We had like, what was that movie? They just had it was like a surveillance camera, like Paranormals, whatever. It's like a surveillance camera in a room. Like what is this? It was just like,
Paranormal Activity or something.
Yeah. And that's just to me, that was such a shame that was pushed as a horror film. And but I hope anybody could do whatever, you know. I mean, I'm not trying to limit people. People should do whatever the fuck they want. But I'm saying, like, as far as I'm concerned, that had nothing on like the original like horror concept. I feel like, you know, that was just such garbage comparatively speaking to like Leatherface or Freddy, you know, any of these guys, man. Like even Scream, dude, at this point, Scream's worked its way in, you know. It's like, which is a parody of all that, you know. It's almost like. So it's like I don't know. Like once we actually have a weather guy coming in real fast. He's going to tell the this week's weather in the world. His name is Frankie MacDonald, and
I'm doing great so far. Then they got typhoon heading towards Taiwan on Thursday. Typhoon Conrad is heading for Taiwan. It's going to affect parts of eastern China. It's going to head towards parts of Japan. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain in southern Japan as well. And guess what? Major breaking news. Professional photographer John Rashford just took brand new professional photos of me back at 5 p.m. Atlantic time at Open Park on Tuesday, October 29th. It's going to be ready on Monday, November 4th, 2024, according to professional photographer John Rashford.
I love how you segued to tsunami into self-promo. Back me up a little bit. A hurricane's about to hit Asia, you were saying?
Typhoon heading towards Taiwan. Including Taipei. Taiwan's going to bring really strong winds and heavy rain in Taiwan. And Wyoming's getting a lot of snowstorm tonight. It's going to bring 6 to 12 inches of snow in Casper, Wyoming. It's going to turn really cold in western United States on Halloween. It's going to turn in eastern United States. It's going to bring really warm temperatures on Halloween all across the entire eastern USA. Then the cold air fights back in warm air again in eastern United States next week as well. It's going to turn really cold in western United States.
Yeah, I think RA is from the East Coast. Well, what's Missouri look like?
It's going to be lots of thunderstorms in the forecast. It's got cold air, warm air, and cold air fighting each other.
That's awesome, brother. Are you ever wrong? I looked at your reports and like I've never seen your weather be off. Like, do you have like a record of this or something?
I just did a weather report for Taiwan. It's like Typhoon Conrad to hit Taiwan on Thursday, October 31st, 2024. That's Halloween.
That's crazy. No, I appreciate that, man. At least that's nuts for them. I mean, that's God bless them, man. That's crazy. So what else is going on, like weather-wise?
I
What's
shuttled. I just shuttled Bitcoin in one of my videos today as well. And guess what? There's a major snowstorm in Casper, Wyoming.
That's crazy,
And
man.
Vancouver Island just had heavy rain last weekend as well. Brought a lot of rain in Vancouver Island.
That's awesome, brother. Well, thank you for telling. Where can people find you on the weather whenever during the week and stuff like that? So
If you want to find me on social media, my blue skies at Frankie MacD. My link tree is Frankie MacDonald. My X, formerly known as Twitter, is at Frankie MacD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD1984. My TikTok is FrankDon1984. My Clapper is FrankDon1984. My Twitch is FrankDon1984. My Snapchat is Frankie AMCDON. My YouTube channel is dogsandwolves. And my link is Frankie Down. Best luck, yeah. I'm Frankie Down. You're listening to Anthony Rogers Show every Tuesday nights.
Thank you, brother. Guy's never wrong. His weather reports are never wrong. It's like crazy how interesting that is to me. Like, where do you see filmmaking going? Like, how old are you? Like, how old are you?
I'm 71.
Holy shit! I didn't realize that. You're damn okay. I thought you were like fucking like 50, 60 some shit, or like 50 or some shit. So where do you see film going? Like I guess you're born in like what? Like you're born in the 50s then or something. So where do you see it going from that? You've seen peak American glory. I'd argue the 50s to like 9/11 were peak American glory. Like so what would you? Where do you see film going? Like a guy involved in the horror film genre knows all the guys in it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I mean, signs autographs with all the guys. Where do you see like the horror film genre going?
Well, technologically, I have no idea, but content-wise, I believe horror films are timeless. I think there'll always be a market for them,
People like being scared.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to feel something, like when they watch something, they don't just want to be bored.
Yeah. I mean, Terrifier 3, #1 at the box office,
I love hearing that. That's good. Anybody can do anything. Like anybody sitting back at home could do. I mean, anybody could do anything. You put in the work. You got to put in the work. But you can do. But anybody can.
To paraphrase that Nike slogan, just do it.
Definitely, yeah. There's so many. I mean, you were in 44 horror films. That's insane to me. Or I got to count the exact number. I said 44 film projects on IMDb. I'd argue 35. Do what?
Wait a minute.
That was already. I played Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. He is killing it. He's using so many movies. Like, I was looking at his IMDb on here, and like, that dude was in so many.
What happened?
I have no idea. Something weird.
Well, you got me on an electronic device. It's a wonder we're even talking.
Yeah, if I'm 70 and able to use a phone or whatever, I mean, I'll feel lucky, man. I couldn't imagine the technological increases in my dad's about 10 years younger than you, and like I couldn't imagine I think about it a lot. I couldn't imagine going from like comic books to cell phones to whatever, and just in a lifetime. And like I'm 38 and I haven't been cool for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel. I feel like so I think at one point if you're still 70 and cool, you got that going for you. And like so it's like I have no idea what any of these things do. Like I mean, I'm impressed anybody over 50 can use a phone, to be honest with you. I don't understand how the world changes nonstop,
Well, I had to have some smart person set everything up for me. You had to call me and coach me how to get on this.
But that's just something I know. If it was a car or something, I have somebody telling me. It's like it's all a collab, and I think I think that's just interesting to think of. Like, so I'm assuming you're born in the 50s or you're 70, if I'm doing math right. To 2024 is crazy. That is a crazy amount of time to take things in and be a part of stuff. And like, I mean, what are some of the biggest changes you've seen in like just like let's stick with horror films, like just in film in general? Like, what's some of the biggest things you've seen?
Probably the incorporation of digital cameras.
Oh yeah, early 2000s.
That cut down on expense somewhat because film is a physical thing, and film stock costs money. So that's got to be figured into your budget. Whereas with digital, you just, I don't know. I've never operated a digital camera, but I think you just, erase it and reshoot it.
That's a great point. Yeah, you used to have to be wealthy and talented to make film, and and like you're using a digital camera right now, though. I mean, it's on your phone, it's on your tablet now. It's like so we're basically using digital film right now. I mean, that's how crazy this would have been. A way crazier operation in the '70s, like just to even do this.
Well, yeah, I don't think we'd even be able to do it.
Not without me being there, you being here, and then like audio instead of video. Yeah, it'd be so. I don't even know if I don't know if I'd be able to run it as a studio. I mean, that's so much. Cameras were so expensive back then.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing I really appreciate about modern technology is, well, the fact that we're on I don't know what you call it, a medium, a technology where we're actually it's a video camera. Something that Dick Tracy used in the 50s. Whoever thought it would be real.
Yeah, I talked to my wife about this a lot. It's weird how many like jobs this has replaced. Like just how many? I mean, just offhand, like GPS, camera, mail. Just offhand. There's probably hundreds of industries that phone has destroyed. Just like it has made life easier. But I mean, we're always wondering why we're in such a weird economy. It's just like there's no products anymore. It's like there's rarely any product. You make a film, you used to be able to sell. I mean. When Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 came out, you were able to sell DVDs, I believe, or VHS. I'm not sure which, but you're able to sell a product now. Now, I mean, you get a licensing deal, maybe you get people will buy your stuff, DVD and VHS, as like memorabilia, I imagine, though. But most movies probably aren't like that. Like horror films are probably like that. Cult classics are probably like that. But most films probably don't have much DVD sales at all anymore. Or really sales. So it's weird seeing like reduction, really. You were in the glory years of film, really. I mean, I'd say the 90s were probably glory years of film. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean, the DVD and the laser disc and all that stuff, that was good. Now it's streaming. They go right to the streaming platforms.
There's no money. There's no money in it at all. Like you can't sell stuff anymore. You're not selling to theaters. You're not selling DVDs. It's like, I look at that. I'm like, this. I look at this. And I'm like, if you made a film after 2008, I'm like, are you money laundering? Like, I'm just like, it's like, that's almost how I view it. It's like, how are these people making?
Anthony, don't say that. I've got a film in post production right now.
It looked like you had two, didn't you? Don't you have two? It looked like you had two on IMDb, didn't you?
Well, I've got. I don't know. I'll have to look. But I've got one. That's in post-production. We hope to have it ready for distribution early next year.
Is that Angel with a Gun or Pig Hill?
Pig Hill.
Angel with a Gun says released. Okay, Pig Hill. Okay, it was just released.
Angel with a Gun.
Is that not real?
Well, I don't know.
You're the source.
Angel with a Gun. It says it's released.
Yeah, it says it's just released.
Oh! I know what. Okay, yeah. I know what that is.
Bam. So Pig Hill's coming out soon. When's Pig Hill release?
Hopefully the first quarter of next year.
Okay.
We're in post production right now. We have signed with a sales agency who predicts very good return on the investment. So me and my partner, Ted Watts Jr., started a film production company here in northwestern Pennsylvania. And, if we are successful with Pig Hill, and I believe we will be, that is just going to be a springboard for a continuing slate of movies from now until perpetuity,
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it is.
So what's that film about loosely, like without giving away the entire fucking story? And like,
what is Pig Hill about?
Yeah, like loosely, what's it about?
It's based on an urban legend. A town in northwestern Pennsylvania called Meadville, Pennsylvania. There is a urban legend that on the outskirts of town, on a hill called Signal Tower Hill, there are hideous mutant pig people living in caverns, lurking in caverns underneath the hill, and they emerge periodically to abduct townswomen for breeding purposes. And so it's basically an investigative. The female lead, she's writing a book about the whole legend, and then she actually goes to the hill to do research, and things kind of take a bad turn.
That's awesome, man. You summed that up really well too. That was a good sales pitch, honestly. I mean, as far as like a guy who knew nothing about it. I mean, I knew a little bit. Someone told me about it, but I mean, just that was good the way you put that. That was not too much, and it was a good amount of information. So, are you from Pennsylvania originally?
I am.
Okay. I'll be up there doing some shows soon. That's a fun area. Philly's kind of a rough town, but the suburbs are nice. Yeah.
I'm as far away from Philadelphia as you can be and still be in the same state.
That's awesome, man. Like Dustin says, sounds good to me. So he seems to like your film. That's Big Hill. That'll be out. Where's that coming out in?
Where?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah. Where and when? Yeah, both actually.
Not sure where it's going to, what platform or media. I hope it gets a theatrical release. But we're shooting for the first quarter of 2025 for any kind of release.
Cool. So yeah, you can find Pig Hill then. That's awesome. So what have you learned that you could tell somebody that either wants to be a filmmaker or wants to be in a film? What have you learned that you could tell some young guy watching this, some young 20-something-year-old in college maybe or something, or someone in their parents' basement or something? Some dreamer. What would you tell them? What would you like to hype them up?
Go back to what I said a few minutes ago, purloining the slogan from Nike: "Just do it. Don't talk about it. Don't wish. Do." We've already talked about the advance in technology. You can get they're making movies on cell phones now.
Yeah, I made a short film on a cell phone. I mean, it's definitely possible. It's fun. Everything's right there at your fingertips. I agree with that, man. I think that's. I mean, we're in the best generation to be a self-starter of all time, probably, man. I mean,
yeah. So when we were doing Pig Hill, one of our production assistants was a good guy, very hard worker. I didn't know much about him, because we hired the people and we just hit it and went. Found out later he's an accomplished screenwriter. He's doing some festivals and winning awards and stuff like that.
That's awesome, man.
So just get involved. I mean, most people can't start as an actor. Most people can't start out as a star. So get on a set as an extra. Keep your ears open, your eyes open. See how things are done, and keep plugging at it. And eventually, if you don't get discouraged, you may have a turn in the spotlight.
Yeah, and there's enough for everybody. There's enough out there for everybody to get some. I feel like whatever you feel like you want, or your dream is, if it's be the best dentist, or to be the best rock star, or to be the best engineer, it's out there, man. Just go. I mean, I feel like it's out there for everybody, man.
No, you have to have a ironclad skin. Reject it. It's 95% rejection.
That's a great point too. Yeah, you can't give up at all. How long did it take you to get a bigger role in in a movie like what?
Well, let's see. I got to California in the December of 1980. So, and we did. We actually filmed Texas Chainsaw in 1989. So it took me 9 years.
That's about what entertainment takes, I think, to get established. I mean, that was a huge fucking role. So I mean, that's like
I mean, how long into it did you think you were already doing it though? You know, it's like that's probably the payoff. But I mean, to be in that, you had to have some reward before that. You know, I mean, probably right.
Well, yeah. I mean, I went down and as soon as I got to California, I went down and started doing student films at University of Southern California.
That's awesome.
Because there was a guy, what was his name? He did some movies, George Lucas. Never
heard of him. Never heard of him.
Yeah, did he ever do anything? But that's where he started. That's where he started his career. And his student film, he hired a guy named Robert Duvall.
Was that some letters 1138?
Yes. THX 1138.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was a student. That was it was either George Lucas or Steven Spielberg. Now I can't remember.
I think it was Lucas.
Yeah. So,
I remember that story. That was his first thing, I think.
It was his student film, and they bought it and expanded it, and that was the beginning of his career. But it started as a student film at a film school. You never know. The more you put yourself out there, you never know who you're gonna run into. And also before, during, and even after I started working in the movies, I continued to do theater. Because a lot of people, they want to exercise their acting muscles. So between movies, they'll do theater. So I mean, I got to work with a lot of cool people, man. I got to work with a guy named Len Lesser. His biggest role probably was Jerry Seinfeld's uncle. I never watched the series.
Uncle's huge, yeah.
Yeah, but he was also in The Outlaw Josie Wales. I mean, he's done like over 100 movies, and he's one of those guys you don't know his name, but you know him when you see him immediately. So I got to work with him. I got to be good friends with Bill McKinney, and who's that? Another guy that you may not know his name, but you know what he did. You Got a Pretty Mouth, Boy, Squeal Like a Peg, from Deliverance.
Yeah, that was a big movie too.
Yeah, so he was that, the raping hillbilly in Deliverance. Got to be good friends with him. Don't ask me why.
That's funny.
Stuff like that.
That's a piece of culture, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. I was trying to read that. Somebody popped up.
Made for that. I always say thick skin. You say ironclad.
Well, thick skin. Yeah, I was going to say skin of a rhinoceros, but I couldn't think of it at the moment. But yeah, Nate, thick skin is exactly right.
That's interesting hearing it, hearing your perspective as an actor, because I mean, I've been in some stuff. I'm always, because I'm a comedian. It's not because I'm a talented actor. So my equivalent of doing what you're saying about doing theater to be an actor was I would do door-to-door sales through my early 20s. So I talked to every single person as practice for reading everybody. And then I would, it's if you can keep somebody at their door that hates you, you know what I mean? It was really good practice for the comedy club where they just go and it's easy there. But it's it was that was my training was in spring. I would do door-to-door jobs and I think I lived at home, so I never even cared about the money. I was a young kid. I was just an idiot. I was just blindly chasing shit, still. And and no, I think I'd do that. The equivalent of that would be knocking doors or finding some jobs like that, or a lot of people say open mics as a comedian. I've never found that to be a successful thing to do, really, other than get a little stage practice or something.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people say that, but I feel like the open mic was always do you want to tell your jokes to 3 other guys that wanted to be a comedian and then a bartender? That's I always felt open mics where it's not really. You don't want to tell your competition your jokes or your plans, or just they're not necessarily competition, I guess, at this point. Not as I get older, they're collaborators, I guess. But that's how I viewed it as a young person,
Yeah, I remember going to the Comedy Store one time, and I think it might have been open mic. I'm not exactly sure, but I saw a guy who smoked cigarettes and wore a black leather jacket and always slicked his hair back. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, I have two people in my head: Andrew Dice Clay or Bill Hicks. That's what I was going in my head.
Andrew Dice Clay.
Dice Clay. Wow. Okay.
Before, I think it was before he was famous.
That's on. Yeah, he was a big guy. He was big, man. He's a funny guy. He's still touring. Probably, I think he's still touring. That's awesome. He's been going he's been going longer than I've been alive. He's been touring probably.
Yeah.
Dice is cool, man. He seems like a cool guy. I haven't had him on the show. I've had a couple comics on the show, but I've never had him.
It's kind of neat to know people before they're famous, and watch them get famous.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. I always found that when I was a kid, I like finding the song like a month before everybody else. I found it, or like 6 months before the radio hit or something. Like I used to be so like that. I used to be so like just on that thing. And I don't know. Definitely did, man. Like, so what are you working on? So you got Pig Hill, and then what you trying to do movies still, or you fucking bored with it all? Where are you at?
No, we started a production company. If we are successful,
you're in it.
If we're successful with Pig Hill, we're off to the races, man.
Nice, man. Well, congrats on that, man. And that's cool, man. I like you seem like a down to earth guy and stuff. And I can tell you got that powerful voice, man. You got that like Orson Welles vibe or something. Got that. And I mean that in a good way. I like Orson Welles a lot. He's a powerful dude. But no, it's that's cool. So like, what's your next? Say your project picks off. You have all the money you need. You have all the staff you need. What kind of project you looking at next?
Well, when we formed our company, and we were looking for projects, I gave my partner 3 screenplays that I had written, and he didn't pick any of them, but because he thought they'd be too expensive. But I've got one that we want to do called Brotherhood of Blood. It's about an outlaw motorcycle club that turns into vampires.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I've got the I called it, when I thought I was still in the chainsaw business, I called it Texas Chainsaw Massacre IV: The Beginning. Well, I can't do it now. I can't even reference Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So
why is that?
Well, because I don't have the rights, for one thing.
But don't you know the owners and stuff? Couldn't you negotiate that?
The what?
Couldn't you negotiate it with the people that do?
No.
What? Who owns it?
I don't know. I just talked to the new guy 2 weeks ago. He doesn't even know who owns it right now.
So if Leatherface doesn't know who owns it, I don't think anybody does, bro. That's crazy.
It just, different companies step up and take over,
Sure, publishing companies.
When I did Leatherface, I signed what I thought was a contract to do number 3, number 4, and number 5. But by the time they got around to doing 4 and 5, another company owned it, so I wasn't contractually attached in any way. So, but so it's taken me a while, but I've come to the realization that I probably will never be in the chainsaw series again. So I've taken what was going to be my prequel about the professional wrestler. I've reworked it, retitled it, and now it's a freestanding horror movie about a professional wrestler who runs afoul of the good old boy mob, and gets left for dead. He's found by a family of maniacs, and they raise him up and turn him into a serial killer, or they rehabilitate him and turn him into a serial killer.
That's a good, it reminds me of those 70s films, man. It actually has a fucking backstory about the guy that's interesting. That's how I feel about a lot of those 70s films. That's some of the best writing, I think, was the 70s, man. Some of the best writing, just in film and even in comedy, man. You had Airplane and all that shit. And some of the best writing of all time, probably, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good stuff, but I don't discredit the new stuff either.
Oh, same. Yeah, it's just something I want to go to. Yeah, it's something. I'm just saying, like they took more risks, man. Like more so. Today's kind of safe, and I mean, it's not for me. It's not for me as much as it is for other people, and I can see that. I'm not the demographic. Like a 38-year-old that complains about everything's not really demographic. So it's like
right.
But I can see it's just
Yeah, and back in the earlier days, the risk wasn't as much. Now with excuse me, with the the corporate takeover of most entertainment, everybody's real cautious. They don't want to do new material. It's all remakes. It's all sequels to pictures. It's very hard to breach the wall with original material, unless you do it yourself, and that's what we're doing here in northwestern Pennsylvania.
That's awesome. That's the American dream, man. If you don't like the way it's done, do it yourself. And I think that's what's great about this country and just business in general, man. It's like any kid in their basement or any grown man in their house, I guess in this case, can literally put anyone out of business or themselves in business at any time in American business, man. And all you gotta have is a good idea and the willpower and do the work, and that's what anybody else has ever done. Anything around us is built by people that thought that, so it's like
you said it, willpower and do the work.
Yeah, that's a lot of it, man. I mean, I'm in an office. I can't believe how many people just maybe they got lives or something, but I don't know how many people aren't here late. You know what I mean? Like working. I'm like, man, you just like if you put in the work a little bit early and stuff like that, I could have if I put in work for maybe 2 more years, I could probably chill out the rest of my life. You know what I mean? If I just do this right. And that's how I view it, man. It's like, so I'm not trying to work forever, dude. And I'm trying to, I don't know. Maybe that's where they're at. Maybe that's why they're at home right now at 9 p.m. They don't want to work forever either, But it's like I feel like you just, I don't know. I just feel like I'm always trying to get ahead. And I don't know. You seem like that too. You don't get a role. You don't get put in that circle if you didn't like earn it type thing. You didn't put the time and energy and stuff to do that.
Yeah.
And that's cool, man. It's like it's an honor having you on here, man. It's like my friend was telling me about you a while ago. And like it's definitely cool the stuff you've done and stuff like that. And like you seem like a good dude, man. It's you're not like egotistical and annoying. I think some artists like let that go to their head a little bit. We're just like, like I couldn't imagine how me or a bunch of my buddies would be if we were Leatherface. Like the ego attached to that brother. I could, and I'm just saying, like it's nice to see you're humble and actually a good dude, and not just like I can kind of vibe that. It's not like not letting success go to your head. You're not talking down to me or anything. Unless it's funny. But I'm saying like you're not like. I appreciate that, man. It's cool to see like somebody that's done something be humble. I think that's what we need.
Well, I appreciate you having me on your show, man.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to throw out before we get out? Or any kind of links to besides if you guys are watching at home, do check out information on Pig Hill. Can they Google that by chance?
Google what?
Pig Hill. Your movie is coming out soon.
We used to have a Facebook page. I don't know if it's still up, but you can go on IMDb and see who all is in it.
Fuck yeah. Cool. And then anything else you want to plug before we get out here, brother?
No.
No. I'm the same, man. That's funny, man. I'm the same way on that. Well, no, it's an honor, man. Like, maybe next October do something like this again. I appreciate it, man. Like, it's always a good kind of horror film kind of theme. Get some behind the scenes stuff. I mean, I think it's cool, man. I appreciate it. And like, thank you all for watching at home. We have hundreds of people watching cross platform. I appreciate you all watching at home too, taking this.
How many people?
It looks like 700 cross platform right now.
700.
Yeah, there'll be tens of thousands later. But it'd be about a couple thousand watch live typically.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I appreciate you all taking in time on your Tuesday to watch a mumbling idiot like myself talk to complete horror film legends like RA here, and also I think Friday Saturday I'm in Cape Girardeau. You should check that out, doing comedy out there. And then tomorrow night we are in St. Charles, Missouri, doing a live podcast with comedy and music and stuff. It will be live in a cinema, so check that out. And yeah, check out RA's movies if you haven't already. I mean, I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre is fucking iconic, so most people have probably already seen that. But if you've already seen it, watch it again. And thank you for your time, RA. I appreciate it. Pleasure to meet you, brother.
Anthony, thank you very much. And I like the idea of doing it again next October. And
Yeah, we'll get something together, man.
if I come to the Lou, we're going to go to Tucker's Place, South County.
Okay, is that steak? It's Tucker's Steakhouse.
Tucker's Place, right?
Is that a
off
steak
of,
place?
Yeah, right off of Lindbergh.
Oh yeah, I know it's. Yeah, no, you know St. Louis.
Yeah, I used to spend a lot of time there.
We'll definitely be in touch when you're in St. Louis. We'll definitely do something, man. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, thank you very much, and again, thank you all for watching. Without you guys, I'll speak for myself. At least I'm a delusional retard without people watching this. It's just a man talking on Zoom without viewers and without sponsors. It's all made up. So thank you all. Thank you, Luxurious Bastard, for sponsoring the episode. They have beard oil. RA's got a beard too. That's rare. Most people don't have beards on here, other than me.
I was trying to catch up to you, but I broke down and got it trimmed last week.
Yeah, I haven't got a haircut in a long time, man. But yeah, and without viewers watching this show, this would be delusional. It'd be two guys talking to each other. This could have been a phone call. I'm just saying, without the viewers, this is a phone call. So I know that. And thank you all for watching, and I appreciate it. And hopefully some of you come out to the live show tomorrow. I'm out.